Hey guys, my name is Bud Gaines. I am an author of the book series called Aren Chronicles. So I'm going to read you some of it today and be warned that I am a little nervous about doing so. I don't usually read my books out loud, so we're going to hop into it in just a second. This is the first book in the Aren Chronicles series, technically. It is Prelude to Vortex of Souls. It's the stories of Amane, Toshiro, and Kyra. It is a book that is currently on screen right now, showing the cover art for it. And I'm realizing that on my copy of it, I don't have my name on it on the front. Alright, that's weird. Anyway, I'm going to open up the book. Sorry if I smack the microphone. I'm not used to reading from a book in front of a microphone, for one. Yeah, it's not even on the inside of the book. I'll have to look at the other one. So I'm gonna read the opening stuff, the preface and stuff through chapter 1 today, and depending on the length of the next chapters, it'll either be a chapter per video or half a chapter per video. But today I'm going to try to do a chapter. It goes to page 24, I believe, 24, 26. We'll see in a minute, or in however long it takes to read. But we're going to start with the preface. So let's dive right in. Preface. Hello readers, my name is Bud Gaines, and I'm the author of Aren Chronicles. I'm one of the original creators of the world of Aren when it was originally a roleplay called Last Arena Roleplay. Yes, LARP. This world has been a huge part of my writing life for the last 12 years or so, which was about 2010. Having taken this world under my wing, I've created side stories that go along with it. The book you're reading now is the first one in the series based around the Quadrants. The Quadrants themselves are just a collection of different biomes and areas pieced together into an island. These locales were originally designed in the RP version of the story to change the area as we went along through the story. Quadrant 1 was a harsh desert. Quadrant 2 was a lush forest. Quadrant 3 was a cool mountain area. Quadrant 4 was a humid jungle. Quadrant 5 was an unbearable volcano with a lava river. In the center of these sections of the land sat another piece known as the palace area. There's another island close by to the quadrants, but I haven't really decided on what to do with it just yet. There are two other stories under the Aren Chronicles umbrella. Allfather's Bastion and Spellbound, which I'm realizing I made some typos there. Allfather's Bastion is a mix of Norse to an extent and straight up fantasy. Spellbound is purely magical fantasy with inspiration from Final Fantasy III's job system. It was just so unique. I'm working on changing that to an extent. I hope you'll enjoy this book series as it comes. I've worked on it for years and I can't wait to share it with you all. Thank you for reading and showing interest in the story at all. I appreciate it so very much. In the interest of helping people read this book and the future of the series, I will be including a character pronunciation section to help their names be understood. I know everyone has different ways of saying things and there are many different dialects and accents. We all learn differently and I wanted everyone to have the characters' names as I say them. I really hope it helps everyone in the long run while reading this series. Then we've got the character pronunciation section. So we've got all of our characters just listed there, and I'll put it on screen, so if people want to read it, you can. It just goes through everybody. Like I said, I'll put it up there so you can see it. So, introduction. This story takes place in the few years leading up to Vortex of Souls. Amane and Toshiro are between 13 to 15 in the early part, and around 17 to 19 in the later sections. Kyra is between 18 and 19 throughout the whole story. These sections are backstories for the three of the main characters involved and help explain their motivations in Quadrant 1, The Gathering of Power. The main characters involved in this story are Amane, Toshiro, Kyra, and Kitani, who will be in the main series. Side characters and equally important members of the series are Fujimoto and Jade Fuseshutsu, Amane's parents, Toshin Shigekazu, Toshiro's father, Sage Matsushita, a family friend to both of the families, Junichiro, an upcoming person in society, Toru, a commanding officer on Fujimoto's side, and Island, a bodyguard for Kyra, and is also her uncle. These events fill in some of the empty spaces. These events fill in some of the empty places before the main story starts, and then it is one of my many prequels that will be written for this series. Next is Chapter 1. Chapter 1, Election and Deception. In the mountains of Quadrant 3, a large meeting is taking place inside of a council chamber. The location is slightly off-center of the town with buildings on all sides and is very well lit. The three swordsman clans meet here to discuss business about bettering the Quadrants and the people who live in it, as well as choosing new representatives for the clans when the need arises. The clan representatives are a lifelong duty unless a rep steps down willingly or dies. The topic for this current meeting of the clans: replacing the recently deceased clan head. The passing of Ogura Fuseishutsu, Fujimoto's grandfather, who had been a clan head since before he was born, had passed on after many years of service. He lived longer than his other serving council members, for they also had passed. Having worked with 3 generations of the council, Shin Shigekazu and Baro Matsushita as the one before them, as well as the current one composed of Toshin Shigekazu and Sage Matsushita, both of whom were groomed for this role by their elders. Now that everyone is here, please sit down so we can begin our discussion on this issue. The issue is that our previous clan head of the Fuseishutsu had passed away, and we need to find a suitable replacement. At this time, I'd like to ask that the current representatives stand up. Getting up from his seat and standing proudly in front of everyone, a stern-looking man speaks first. Representative and also active clan head, Toshin Shigekazu. Always the Boy Scout, another man said, sitting next to him. Shut it, Toshin responded. Sighing, another man stood up, more relaxed. Representative and also active clan leader, Sage Matsushita, he replied. The speaker paused. And a representative for the Fuseishutsu clan, he asked, whispering to Toshin. Toshin, hit him, Sage asked his friend while rolling his eyes and shaking his head. Toshin nodded slightly and pulled back his sword from the sheath enough to hit Fujimoto in the back. Ouch, Toshin, what was that for? Stand up, Fujimoto, he responded sternly. Toshin rolled his eyes while Sage laughed at them under his breath. Fine, Fujimoto stood up and said, Fujimoto, representing the Fuseishutsu clan. As he was speaking, another man stood up. Junichiro, also standing to be representative. The speaker paused. 2 representatives can't be representing the same clan. I call for a vote, Junichiro declared. Good call, Fujimoto replied with a subtle laugh. Who are you? Sage asked while Toshin nodded in agreement with the question. I'm a skilled warrior looking for peace and a strategist. Junichiro responded. I believe that we need a break of bonds here. Break of bonds? Fujimoto asked. Yes, I believe the 3 of you could pull too many strings and receive special treatment, Junichiro declared. Valid complaint, the speaker interjected. Is it? Sage said, confused. First off, even with you on here, the 2 of us, Toshin and myself, could outrule you. Secondly, the 3 of us have been fighting for the squadron for about 2 decades now, which is probably as long as you've been alive. Third, Fujimoto may be a playful drunkard, but he's also an expert strategist and warrior with leagues of accolades beneath him. Didn't you just have to smack him for him to get up? Junichiro added. Yeah, playful drunk, like Sage said, Toshin responded. Also, I hit him with my hilt. Forget the explanation, you guys. Let's just have the vote and see who the people actually want to do it. It's that simple. Win or lose, we'll both accept gracefully and move on, Fujimoto added. Well said, Toshin stated. About time. Sage laughed to himself with a small smile on his face. Like a representative. The speaker pulled out some ballots and handed them out to the audience. Take one and pass it on. If you're caught adding more than one, clan leader Toshin will dole out the punishment. My favorite part. If you're caught cheating, you'll lose your ability to vote. And your hand, Toshin added with a cold look in his eyes. The voting process had begun. Sitting in a separate room away from everyone, Toshin, Sage, and Fujimoto gathered around a table with an artist. You guys want to do this? Fujimoto asked. Of course, I'll take one, Sage replied. I'll like one as well, Toshin added. Fujimoto and Sage looked at Toshin in confusion. Are you sure? Sage asked. Yes, Toshin replied quickly without looking around. Check his temperature, Fujimoto stated. Yeah, I got it, Sage spoke. He placed his hand on his head. Well, he feels normal. Maybe colder. Guys, I'm fine. It's a commemorative painting. The three of the clan heads united. It's been a long time coming, Toshin stated. Let's wait for the vote first, Fujimoto stated cautiously but also confused. Who would have thought friendship was an issue? Right? That was weird, Sage replied. Agreed, Toshin nodded. Can you three stand over here, please? The painter asked. In unison, they all moved to the spot and stood there. Perfect, thanks. Make us look good, Sage spoke. Yes, sir, one masterpiece is coming up, he replied. With a laugh, the painter began sketching and painting as quickly and delicately as he could. A few hours later, the basic concept was down on the canvas, and it needed to be cleaned up and recreated 2 more times. The speaker knocked on the door and opened it up. It's time to see who won. Please come out here. We're coming, Fujimoto replied. Looks like our time is up for now. We'll be back as soon as possible. Let's go, Toshin stated. Quickly, the 3 of them re-entered the room where the count was being done and stood next to the wall. The speaker began talking. In a landslide victory of 75% 25%, the winner and new clan head of the Fusei Shutsu is... He paused momentarily. Come on already, an audience member yelled out. Fujimoto. Congratulations to Fujimoto on becoming the new clan head. Would you like to say some words? I guess. He shrugged. Thank you for all your votes, whether for or against me. You didn't just place votes for a person, you placed votes for a better tomorrow, no matter who the victor was. I accept the role as head of the clan and look forward to hearing from you all in the near future about your ideas and beliefs. Junichiro, I look forward to working with you closely and learning more about your style and ideas for a better world. Good speech, Sage whispered to him. Very, Toshin added. Check his temperature. Right? Sage said. Sage laughed. It just came out, Fujimoto replied. It's a good thing, Sage stated. Junichiro smiled and nodded. I look forward to working with you as well. Seeing as that topic of business is done, we'll adjourn until the meeting. The speaker added, You're all dismissed. The room emptied quickly for 5 people, except for 5 people. Fujimoto, Toshin, Sage, Junichiro, and the speaker. Congratulations, Fujimoto, the speaker said as he shook his hand. Just remember to continue being like you are during that meeting and you'll go far. Nothing could change him if it wanted to, Toshin replied. That's true enough, Sage added. We get it, I'm stubborn, Fujimoto stated, shaking his head. Come on, let's get out of here and celebrate or something. I could use a drink or 15. No, go home, Toshin stated. Fine, just 1 drink then, Fujimoto sighed. Deal, Sage agreed reluctantly. Junichiro, be careful on your way home tonight. I wish you safe travels, Fujimoto offered his hand out to him. Of course, clanhead. He bowed and shook his head. Oh, you stay safe as well. I can't type, apparently. Fujimoto nodded as he let his hand go. The 4 of them watched as he left, followed by the 3 of them and then the speaker after locking up. The 3 best friends headed to the nearest bar to get a drink together. As they travel on foot, an eerie darkness sets in with a thick and heavy, almost paralyzing feeling to it. The 3 of them stand on guard with swords in hand. A malice of the strongest nature fills the air and fuels the rage of nearby people, with low tolerance to spiritual energy and weak minds. Fujimoto's eyes narrow, and he begins searching for where this pressure is originating. The 3 of them quickly turn around almost in unison and realize it's coming from back the way they came, the assembly hall. Together they begin running as fast as they can, with Fujimoto leading the way for them with his higher speed. They were good as a team, utilizing different abilities and skills. Fujimoto had speed and strength coupled with powerful spiritual energy. Toshin was a warrior of paralyzing ability and coldness. Sage was a cunning and masterful tactician. None of them lacked power and speed. Fujimoto just had the edge on them. They ran as fast as they could and arrived in record time, but nothing was there. No one, no things, just empty. Not even trash cans, just an empty alleyway. Something isn't right here, Fujimoto stated bluntly. Agreed, Toshin replied. This feels like a setup for something bad, Sage added. Separate. Fujimoto go left, Toshin go right. I'll go straight. We'll meet back up here if we find anything. If you do find something, shout for us. 3 of them nodded in agreement and split apart. Following Fujimoto's path, we see him running and checking behind every corner he possibly can and erratically searching for any clues what's going on, what he can do to lift the pressure. He continues to run around just to keep searching for the sake of helping. Toshin went right and found absolutely nothing of interest as well. Nothing was there. Nothing was anywhere. Almost as if the world they were in was fake. Something was definitely not right about this area. Sage ran straight ahead, and straight into a huge problem. The pressure was immense in his direction, but he kept focusing on dealing with it as he moved forward on his own. His footsteps became heavier and heavier until he was struggling to even walk while standing up completely. He tried yelling, but couldn't, almost like something had grabbed his throat and stole his ability to speak. He was forced to the ground by the pressure. What's going on? He thought to himself. A figure walked up to him, hooded, and stared him down. You'll see soon enough. He disappeared quickly and reappeared a few minutes later with Junichiro. Sage? Junichiro spoke before the pressure seized him into standing still. This is for the good of the clan. He removed his hood. Fujimoto, Junichiro shouted. Yes, he said as he shoved his sword through him. Why? Junichiro questioned. You're weak. This will show people not to oppose me. Sage gasped and stood up, exerting his own spiritual energy. Toshin! Fujimoto! I'll deal with you slowly, Sage. Time will see you fall. The pressure lifted and it caused the world to return to normal. Their fake world was gone. A crowd of people appeared to see what was going on. Fujimoto, what's going on? One of the people in the crowd asked. This man opposes us. He has to be dealt with, Fujimoto replied coldly. Don't listen to him. That is not Fujimoto, Sage replied. Looks like him, sounds like him. That has to be him, another person adds. The area freezes quickly, leaving everyone standing still, except the figure. He injects the poison into Sage and speaks to him. I know you can hear me. This will last for a long time, keeping you weak and helpless, mimicking illness. You come against me, and you'll die immediately. Stay in your home if you value your life. As he moves, Toshin and Fujimoto end up in the darkness as the figure disappears and the area unfreezes. What's going on? Toshin asked. Fujimoto killed Junichiro, a crowd member states. That's impossible. I just got here, Fujimoto says in confusion while crinkling his nose and forehead and raising his right eyebrow, his mouth slightly open. You need to relinquish your power until this is resolved, the speaker adds. No, Fujimoto states sternly, narrowing his eyes at them. I just got here. There's no way I killed anyone. Toshin, he's telling you the truth. We just arrived here, together. He looked at them coldly as his eyes shone with an icy sparkle. They're covering for each other. None of them can be trusted, another citizen added. If you don't relinquish your power, we'll have no choice but to take you down or remove you from power, another spoke. The answer's still going to be no. If you try to cut me down, I will fight back. I don't care if we're all part of the same clan or not. I will defend myself and defend my family, Fujimoto said, placing his hand on his blade. Enough, Sage stated loudly as he got up off the ground. This man did nothing at all. Something dark is at play here, and if you don't stop getting caught up in your rage and shock, you're going to bring on something much worse than any of you realize. He began coughing and gripping his stomach. You'll bring on war, he said as his head beaded up with sweat and his body falling limp. Sage! Fujimoto yelled. He grabbed his friend and hovered above him, trying to keep him elevated. He's burning up. Is there a doctor here? He asked. Oh, you want a doctor for your friend, but Junichiro is dead, a hooded man states, and you did it? I didn't do anything, Fujimoto responds. Toshin, can you do anything to cool him off? Apologies, Sage and Fujimoto. I can't do anything in this situation. Fujimoto sighs. Can you run him to your home and get him out of this environment? Toshin nods. Yes. He scoops him up and looks at Fujimoto. Will you be okay? He asks. We'll see. They want me, not you guys. I'll do what I can, Fujimoto responds. Good luck, Toshin says as he sprints off carrying Sage. Sighing to himself, Fujimoto keeps his hand on his blade, watching the movements of everyone. He shakes his head from side to side. We don't have to do this. We're all rational adults. Here. We're all rational adults here. Then relinquish your power. No, and that's final, Fujimoto sternly responds. Another group comes from the other side of the alley. What's going on here? One guy asked. They think I killed Junichiro, even though I just arrived and he was already down, Fujimoto states. The new group drew their blades. For Fujimoto! They began charging forward. Stop! Stand down! Fujimoto yells. For Junichiro! The other group yells. Fujimoto removes his hand from his sword and picks up Junichiro's body. With one leap, they jump onto the roof of their short houses. He hears the clanging of swords as he looks down upon them and uses the confusion to disappear from the area with his speed. He runs as fast as he can to Junichiro's home, where his wife, child, and his parents live. He knocks on the door and waits. A very small and slender woman with dark hair and eyes opens the door. Yes! Oh my God, Junichiro, she shouts. The rest of the family comes in behind her and opens the door. Quick, come in, Fujimoto, she says. Yes, ma'am, he responds by carrying Junichiro in and placing him on the floor. What happened to him? Junichiro's father asks. I'm not sure exactly. People are going to tell you it was me, but I promise you it wasn't. When I got to where he was with Toshin, he was already lying on the ground. I don't have any information other than that. I'm sorry for this, he said, bowing his head down to them. He stood up and ran out of the door. The family mourns and cries over the loss of their son, husband, and father. A young man cut down in the prime of his life. The loss of his life was felt by everyone in the house and surrounding them, and that included Fujimoto, who was really taking it to heart. This was the start of the Fuseishutsu Civil War. Fujimoto rushed home and ran inside quickly to see his family. He looked around, seeing his wife still in one piece and sighed in relief. He ran over and kissed her and held her tightly. Very affectionate tonight, she said, pulling back from him, and that's when she saw his face, pale, ragged, pained. What happened, Fuji? She asked. Junichiro is dead, he said bluntly. How? She asked, surprised. Sword ran through him. He exhaled deeply. About half the area thought it was me. Was it? She asked, just for his answer. No, when I got to him with Toshin, he was already dead, Fujimoto added. I believe you. I just wanted your response, she stated. We need to leave, Jade, Fujimoto spoke. We're not leaving our home. That only makes you look guilty. I believe in you. I believe you can protect us. You'll figure out something, she spoke calmly and encouragingly. Right. I'll do my best, he added. Where's Amane? He's in his room, asleep. Peacefully, she responded. Good. I'll go wake him up after we talk, Fujimoto sighed. Okay, go sit down, Fuji. I'll be right there with some tea and we'll talk. Yes, ma'am. Fujimoto walked into the living room and sat down in his favorite chair. He was breathing deeply, trying to regain his calm. A few minutes later, she walked into the room with some hot tea in her pot and a couple of cups and set it down on the table. She slowly poured it into the cups and sat one down in front of him. She then made hers and sat across from him. Speak, Fuji. What is it you want to do? She asked. It's a topic you always say no to, but this is dire. I want to train our son. I want to train Amane. You're right. My answer is no. She sipped her tea and closed her eyes as she did so. But continue. She opened her right eye up to look at him. I'll train him for 3 years, until he is old enough to decide for himself. I want him to know how to defend himself that way he can defend you both if necessary. Or he can fight with me, whatever his choice may be, Fujimoto adds. I want him to grow up strong, healthy, well-rounded, but most importantly, selfless. I want him to give to the world, not just take from it. I want him to create and inspire hope. He's going to be a major asset to the world, she adds. Fujimoto looks confused. What are you talking about? What have you seen? She smirks. I've seen a lot. This time, your idea is the path set before him. It needed to be tonight. One slightly sooner could have unraveled a destiny for our quadrant. He's a child of light, as is Toshiro. Our family will grow beyond our borders. This path will see him set the world right. Unfortunately, we won't be around to see it, my love. Trust your instincts and train him to the best of your abilities. See him flourish and grow beyond your measure. You're saying he'll surpass me and I'll be dead? Fujimoto said, shaking his head while trying not to laugh at the idea of him losing a fight. He, however, knew that it wasn't the time to joke around. Yes, he's going to use our family's spiritual power in a new and fascinating way. He'll outpace you in speed and power fairly quickly. Eventually, if you combine your power, Toshin, and Sage's, none of you can compare with our boy, let alone the rest of the group that forms. This is what will save everyone. Pass everything on, and he'll pass it on. He'll train others. He'll inspire alliances and form bonds with people from all over. Believe in our son. Believe in Amane. She speaks confidently and proudly. I will, he nods. Is that a yes? Yes, it is. She drinks more of her tea. Go, run and tell him. She smiles. Fujimoto gets up and kisses her forehead. Thank you. He rushes to Amane's room and attempts to wake him up. Amane, get up. I have something important to tell you. Amane rolls over and blinks a lot, trying to wake up enough. Dad, when did you get here? I've been here for a little while, son. What happened? Amane asked. Nothing to worry about now. The good news is that your mother is finally going to allow me to train you for the next 3 years, Fujimoto states with a smile. What? No way, he shouts in excitement. Yes, after all the time she said no, she finally said yes tonight. We'll start training as soon as possible. Get back to sleep. Fujimoto patted him on the head. Excitement's going to make that hard, Amane mumbles as he started passing out again. Fujimoto shook his head and walked out of the room, shutting the door. Still just a boy. I wish these were simpler times, he thought to himself. Come, my husband, let's get some rest ourselves, since it's going to be a long 3 years. She spoke softly as she dragged him to their room by his hand. Yes, let's enjoy what could be our last peaceful night for some time. If we aren't going to run away, we'll always be on guard, Fujimoto states plainly. If we were to run away, if we were to run, we'd always be on guard as well. Looking over our shoulders and never knowing when we'll be found, she replied quietly but seriously. Though we'll always have each other in this world and the next, you'll always be in my heart and I yours, no matter what or who you do outside of these walls, Fujimoto, she smirked. Yes, I know, but I can't change you. Just always come back to me. He sighed deeply. I'm sorry. Nothing to be sorry about, my love. I want you to be yourself. Just be safe, be careful, don't bring anything or anyone else home. I love you, Fujimoto, she replied. And I love you and only you, Jade. He pulled her back and kissed her. I only give you my love, no one else. I trust you, she spoke calmly, whispering in his ear. Thank you, he responded quietly. Come on, Fuji, let's get some rest. She dragged him into the bedroom and shuts the door. Amane had woken up earlier in the night, as opposed to the usual time he would wake up. He rolled out of bed and stood up as he made his way to the pantry and removed a jug of water from it. He poured himself a small glass and drank it quickly. He set the cup down and went outside, only to be surprised by what he saw. A blood-red sky, a unique phenomenon that was said to be what happened when someone was killed during the night. As he looked into the distance, seeing the protruding tower in the center of their quadrants, once more something he couldn't see before now, a swirling vortex of blue orbs. Amane stared at it, almost in a trance, as he thought he heard voices coming from them. Help me, help me, help me, it repeated, over and over again. He didn't know how to help. What was he supposed to do to help them out? How could he help them out? This was just like his dreams and his nightmares. Ane, why are you up? A voice asked from behind. I just woke up quickly. Something didn't feel right, and I felt the urge to get up. He looked away from it and turned around. Mom, what is up there? She smiled. So you see it now. See what exactly? He asked, confused. The Vortex of Souls. Only people with heightened awareness of the spiritual plane can see that, or people who have been close to death, she said bluntly. What does that have to do with me? Amana replied, worried and confused. That, my son, is your destiny. She hugged him tightly. Through training with your father, you'll find a strength like no other. Our family has a sixth sense to the spiritual energies within and around us. Your father does as well, but he suppresses his own with alcohol. His duty is to train you and pass on everything. I'll do my best. I don't know if I'll do it well, but I'll do what I can. He took everything she said at face value. His destiny was huge, but he wasn't the type to turn away from people in trouble. If our world is in trouble, I'll do what I can to fix it. When do we begin? Right now, Fujimoto said as he tossed a sword to him. We begin immediately. Mane caught the sheath blade in his hand and held it in front of him. One question, though. I heard someone saying, help me, when I gazed at the vortex. Is that normal? Amane asked, confused still. No, it's not, Jade responded sternly. I've never heard them talk before outside of dreams. I'll have to meditate on this. Enjoy your training, she kissed him on his forehead. Fujimoto, don't hold back. Yes, ma'am, Fujimoto replied, in a usually chipper manner. This isn't going to be easy, son. I never expected it would be, Amane responded. Let us begin. Put that between your waistbands. He was, of course, speaking about the sword as he walked over to him. Quickly, Amane tried to put the sheath where he was asked, but it wasn't working out the way he thought it should. It kept slipping through. Sorry, I'll get it in a minute, he said as he continued to struggle. Hold on. Pulled the band off of Amane's waist. Close your robe tightly. Money shuffled quickly to place them as he was asked, and held them together. As he did so, Fujimoto ran the waistband around a few times and tied it to the side. There. Nice and tight. Try again, Fujimoto spoke. Mai slid the sword sheath into the bands, and it stayed put this time. Thank you. I apparently need to relearn how to get dressed properly, he said, followed by a nervous laugh. You're fine. Just tie it around your waist and you'll be good, Fujimoto replied. Now bend your knees and place your dominant hand on the hilt of the blade and your non-dominant hand on the sheath. Doing this allows you to hold it steady and pull it out quickly. I understand you're not going to be able to do this quickly as of now for 2 reasons. 1, your arms aren't long enough yet, but you're still growing. 2, you're new to this. Mai pulled the blade out quicker than expected, but still had trouble at the end. You're right, just a little more length. Fujimoto laughed. Gotta do things the hard way, don't you? I wish I could offer you a slightly smaller one, but as of now, that's all we got. So at least you'll be used to the weight of this one for your training. Today we're going over basics. It'll be as basic as it gets, and we'll repeat these steps. We'll repeat these every day for 2 hours in the morning. After that, we'll do push-ups, sit-ups, chin-ups, and we'll run and jump, do as much exercise as we can, and eat properly to build muscle and stay fit. Are you going to quit drinking? Amani asked sarcastically. Probably not, he replied. Anyway, let's get into it. I'm going to show you the basic strikes today, and we'll move from there. Mane nodded to his father and sheathed his blade. They started withdrawing the blade from the sheath and added as they went on. Lunges from near and far, slashes horizontal and vertical, diagonal swings, underhand swipes up and down. Most importantly, blocking. They had spent hours working on just the basics before moving to basic exercises, including what Fujimoto had listed. Well, guys, that was a preface through chapter 1. Next time I start, I'll be doing chapter 2. Hopefully it won't be super long as this one. I was trying to read this one slower so that it was more understandable. Hopefully it'll all be good next time. Maybe I'll cut the videos down a little bit more and try to make it like 15-20 minutes tops instead of this probably be like 35. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed it. This is Prelude to Vortex of Souls, chapter 1. That's it. If you want to check it out, you can buy it on Amazon if you would like to. I think it's 99 cents for a Kindle version. I think it's like $5.99 for a paperback. It's been out for a little over a year or so. The next book is out. Vortex of Souls is out. Yeah, so the first part is, at least. If you want to check it out, it is out. But yeah, that's going to be it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I want to keep doing this. I'm being encouraged to do it, so hopefully it'll all go well. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys.